This is Bruce Bochy, and you're listening to the Ranger Report.
The Ranger Report, yeah, the Ranger Report. If you want the inside scoop, listen to the Ranger Report. Oh, here we go!
This is the Ranger Report podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
Welcome to the Ranger Report podcast. As always, coming to you from the Preferred Health Solutions online studio. We are brought to you by Dallas Sports Nation and Walton's, everything but the meat, and of course, part of the Fans First Sports Network. We appreciate all of those who decide to put their name in front of this turd show. I am CJ Berryman. You can find me at CJB_RR on the X-rated Twitter thing.
And I am Tyler Neilson. You can find me at TPN 1983 on the porn site, whatever you want to call it.
I think that's what we've been going with. And we have a special guest. Just happens to be a brother or somebody. We got a lot of relatives and best friends that we've started getting on here. And somehow Mack Neilson slid in and decided he wanted to hop on, and we allowed him to. So, Mack Neilson, that's Tyler's brother. Mack, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right. And you guys?
Good.
Hey, I got my World Series hat in today.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Heck yeah, dude.
It's up there by Parker Bridwell's.
The Angels one I gave you?
Yeah, the signed Parker.
The signed one? Yeah. There you go.
And that's their cousin. Parker Bridwell is Tyler and Mack's cousin.
It is.
And from Hereford, he pitched for the Angels for a little bit of a time in the majors. And so, yeah, I ordered that one. I left all the stickers on that one, and it's up there by Parker, and with Elvis and Fergie and all them. And I'm going to order another one to wear. So
there you go.
That's what I was about to say. I'm disappointed in you two. If I had a World Series Texas Rangers hat, it'd have sweat stains and grease
already.
No, bro.
I'll be wearing that sucker with pride out everywhere.
Hey, at least we have one.
Yeah, that is true. That
yeah,
very true.
52 years, CJ. 52 years.
Yeah. 52 years. My dad said he's been waiting 50, so I got him a hat too.
It may be 52 years, but that hat is brand new.
That hat is brand new. Yeah,
it is brand new.
That is true. But no, I am ordering another one that I will be wearing around. So Tyler, I think he's aiming to do the same thing. And last time we talked, anyway.
I am.
All right. Well, we do have some Rangers news before we get into Mack's Texas Rangers fandom. The Rule 5 draft is coming up. That's going to be the next thing to eyeball, and it is it's going to be interesting because the Rangers decided to place relievers Mark Church, Jose Cornell, and Antoine Kelly, as well as infielder Justin Foscue on the 40-man and protected them. However, a couple of big names are Rule 5 eligible now, such as Blaine Krim, friend of the show, Davis Wenzel, a second-round pick in the same draft as Josh Young back in 2019, starting pitching prospect Dane Acker, and numerous relievers, including Justin Slayton, and I'm going to try this one, Anthony Hupui Tuanoatoa.
Yeah, I was trying to read the name too earlier.
I tried.
And I said I'm good. Just you did good. You did good.
I'm going to apologize to his mama right now. I'm sure she's listening, or would listen. Sorry for butchering that name, but hey, gave it a shot. I ain't scared. So big names, obviously. Foscue remaining, Mark Church remaining, Antoine Kelly, a relief help possibly. There's some those are three guys that you will probably see Mark Church and Jose Cornell in the big leagues next year, and would wouldn't be surprised if Antoine Kelly's up either. The big one though, Justin Foscue, he's blocked. As me and Tyler talked off the air about prior to coming on, Justin Foscue is obviously blocked all around the infield for the rest of time. It feels like because everybody's
he
contract,
is, and that's a good
young.
point, CJ. I mean, but it's another thing with I don't think David, Wenzel, I don't think he's going to get picked up by any. I mean, because I don't see him being he's not going to be on a roster for the whole year. You have to be on the roster for the whole year.
Correct.
And the one that scares me is Krim. That's I do not know why they did not put him on the 40. We'll have to listen to some interviews. I'm sure CY will come out later this week or at some point and kind of discuss their strategy coming into this Rule 5 coming up, because their deadline was set yesterday. And I know they were looking for bullpen, help and stuff coming into the offseason, and that might be a big reason why. But Krim's the only one that I don't like about the whole situation. I think I do actually see a major league roster team picking him up.
That's the one that I think that has the possibility. I mean, Blaine's done very well at each level of the minors. And for the past, I got to go back to 2015. I've been getting daily emails on every single, and this is thanks to Jamie Newberg, of the Newberg Report, and Scott Lucas for all the hard work that they do. But I've been getting daily emails on each and every minor league team in the Rangers organization for years and years. And I've been watching Blaine Krim's name just ease right up throughout the organization. And he was doing well at AAA as well. Obviously a few growing pains on the way up, but then he's always able to overcome, figure out that level, and then move up to the next one. And so it's at a point, to be honest, where hey, it's time for Blaine Krim to be on somebody's big league roster. And,
well, you look at it. I mean,
he's another one. Well, he's another one, Tyler, like Foscue. He's blocked.
Exactly.
Third baseman, first baseman, and he'd have to play maybe some corner outfield. Foscue may have to learn to play some corner outfield. Foscue actually did work out a little bit in the outfield last season. However, his best position is up the middle or at third base.
Right, but like you said, it's all blocked.
Third, first, yeah. So we got Lowe, Simeon Seager, and Josh Young for
like you and Ben said, we got to quit losing players that we have their numbers.
Yeah, we had Blaine's one of them.
It's just like we get all these players, but because Mason Englert, wasn't he a Rule 5?
Mason Englert was Rule 5 last year and went to the Tigers and stuck with the Tigers. We had him on the last episode. That was fun.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Mason's a good kid. Yeah, I had his number, and there he goes, and had Cole Reagan's number, and then he goes for.
I miss Cole, dude. I miss Cole.
Yes, I think we all do after the almost heart attacks that Aroldis Chapman damn near gave us, every single one of us in the playoffs. But yeah, those Blaine Krim's the one I could see somebody taking a flyer on. I think you're right on Wenzel. I don't think while he's been at AAA a couple of years, he hasn't hit quite like we've wanted him to, expected him to, I guess you could say.
Good old Baylor Bear.
He is a Baylor Bear, so that'll be interesting to see. Now, the Rule 5 draft, it's a ways off, so unfortunately, we got to wait.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that transpire in between then, so we'll go there. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I want to go to my brother, Macker. Let's talk about your days growing up. You being a 5-tool athlete in baseball and having all these recruits looking at you. What made you give up the sport? With all your ability and stuff, and people looking at you and knowing what a stud you were.
Man, I'll tell you what. I mean, back in my day, my career started off really promising. When that ball was on a tee, I was nails, man. All I had to do is when I had to get on base, that's all the coaches wanted me to do is get on base. Well, people started throwing at me, and I'm just like, this is not my deal, and coaches like, all right, all we needed you to do, son, is bunt. Just bunt, get on base. Well, the problem is coaches are coaches at that level, and they didn't realize that the dudes behind me in the rotation were worse than I was. So if I got on base, I was getting out anyway. Still second, and then they were going to strike out. So that's my career in a nutshell.
Let's talk about me going to watch you as a kid, and
by any means, I was not a baseball player.
Let me talk to you a little bit about me as a kid watching you play, and you sitting in center field and Indian style picking daisies.
Yeah, so that's where you come in with the 5-tool player, man. I had the hoe, the rake, I had it all, man.
You had it all, man.
Out of the end, dude. If the Rangers ever need a greenskeeper,
a grounds crew,
a grounds crew, yeah,
I can take care of dandelions.
We got Mack Neilson's email and phone number. Heck yeah, Mack Neilson, grounds crew.
On a serious question, let me ask you a few more things, Bubba. When we were younger, let's talk about some of your favorite players that we always had the jerseys, or the players that you watched growing up, in our days, and CJ can relate to. Let's go through a little bit of that.
My man, and when I really quit watching MLB, and when I quit watching the game of baseball is when King Griffey Jr. just gave it up. That was my role model when I was young. He was natural. He was, and then Ken went through the era of the PEDs and, the Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa's, Mark McGuire's, Ryan Palmeiros of the world. And it killed me to see these guys hitting 70-plus homers a year, and Ken Griffey was falling hit him. He did it naturally.
He did it the right way.
What really killed the sport for me is because people didn't do it with the integrity of what sports should have been. And that killed me, because that was my role model, and I seen everybody else hitting their pinnacles way beyond their primes. And Ken Griffey was just, and so
he was having injury after injury after injury.
He was, but Father Time hits everybody if you're doing it the right way.
Right.
And I agree to this day.
I just that kills me with sports. I see it. I still see it in sports today. I'm not going to really get into a whole lot more than that, but there's still, in the NBA is one of them. I mean, I'm not going to put names out there unless y'all want to go into that, but I'm not. But it happens. It's still happening today.
Yeah, it is, and that's unfortunate. And it did, like you, Mac. It drove a lot of people away from the game. It really did, and that's what after the strike of 1994, which drove a lot of fans away. MLB turned a blind eye to all the steroid. They didn't test for it.
I know.
So they turned a blind eye, and the home runs were bringing the crowds back.
They were,
and they just kind of let it go. That's my opinion. I do not know that for a fact, but that is my opinion, that they just let it go and go and go. And then finally, when Jose Canseco decides he's out of money and decides to write a book,
could put everybody under the bus. Yep, he threw them all under the bus.
I mean, rightfully so. I mean, he opened up lights for everybody, and good for him. I mean, seriously. I mean, if he did it for that reason, that shame on him. But good for him to open up people's eyes to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that were mentioned in there. Juan Gonzalez and Pudge Rodriguez are a couple of them. And then you had Rafael Palmeiro. Then you have A-Rod as the Ranger. Of course, that's late. That's a little bit after the book was released. And Canseco was just talking about everybody, about he and Mark McGuire. And then, I mean, just everybody was linked in there. Brady Anderson goes and hits, from hitting 10 to 15 home runs a year.
Hitting 50.
League hitting 50.
Yeah, exactly.
From the leadoff spot,
It was obvious. It was obvious something was going on. And that's coming from a guy that didn't really watch baseball. It was interesting. We were all watching baseball when Canseco and Sosa, or McGuire and Sosa were hitting freaking 70-plus homers a year. Yeah, everybody was watching that because that's all ESPN wanted to show. I mean, they were cutting into football games.
Yeah, and I think it sucks though too, CJ and Mac. I think another thing that sucks really bad, because one of the greatest players that I've ever watched, other than Ken Griffey, like my brother said, is Barry Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Bonds was a stud, and He'll never get into the Hall of Fame, unfortunately. But you know what? You look at him as a player, what he did, regardless of the steroids. This is the way I look at the steroid era. Yes, you're going to hit a ball farther. Don't get me wrong. You're going to be stronger. But you still got to hit the damn ball.
Having the hand-eye coordination.
You got to have the hand-eye coordination. You still got to hit a baseball that's coming at you at 98, 100 miles an hour.
I get that, but still, man, when you make contact with the ball and you're jacked up, it's a different game, man. It is.
Well, and even then, Sammy Sosa got busted with a
everybody in the MLB can hit a baseball. Everybody can. I mean, we just went through that. We watched the Astros and the Rangers
LCS
finals, man. I mean, it's those guys can hit. They get paid a lot of money to hit that baseball, and they're good at it.
Yeah, you damn right they are. Well, you had two of the top teams doing it in that series, but yes, you're right. Well, I mean, you look at 30 teams in the MLB. Every person pretty much on the roster can hit the baseball, except for Austin Hedges.
Except for Austin Hedges.
Except for Austin Hedges.
He flat out said he's been in a slump his entire career, but the dude can catch, and we've been at that one ad nauseum. So what? Hey, Mac, we talked to you a lot this year, especially during the playoffs. What was this run like to you? Because you were as glued as we were.
I really was, and I'm not a baseball fan at all, but man, if the Rangers there, you have to go back to when I was a kid. So our highlight of our Rangers games, we would go to double headers to watch Nolan Ryan pitch. And the highlight of those games was the Beach Boys playing between the double headers. I mean, they were bad. They were really, really bad. Yeah. They were just garbage for so long. And, what years were it when they went to the back-to-back World Series and just barely?
2011 and 2000 or 2000. Was it
11?
Yeah, 10 and 11. Yeah,
10 and 11. So I remember watching those and just being heartbroken. And I wasn't even. I'm a Rangers fan, but I'm not a Rangers fan like you guys. I mean, I'm not an avid watcher of the Rangers, but I guarantee you, when they're going to the playoffs, something's going right for them, and they pulled it out. That Astros series, man, I watched everything from the Astros series on through the World Series. And you know what? The World Series was a disappointment compared to that Astros series. It really was.
Well, brother,
I just was like, that was an annihilation of a better team. It just, they were better. And the underdog is always a scary deal because, I'm not a baseball watcher of anything, but I remember looking when I was watching the Astros series, I was watching all the batting averages through the Astros lineup, and you could tell their front end of their lineup was pretty solid. But as it went down that lineup, it started dipping. You watch those Astros looked at the Rangers.
Yeah.
They were solid all the way from top to bottom. And that's
1 through 9.
That win, I believe. That's me. They were patient at the plate, and they hit what they believed that they saw coming, and it propelled them to a World Series win.
Great point, Macker.
That's the thing watching the game.
That's a great point. And as I know, you listen to the podcast, and I told Ben and CJ coming into the ALCS, I said, mark it down right now. Whoever wins this series between the Astros and the Rangers will go on to win the World Series. I put it out there right then.
Yeah, Tyler and I compared it to the early 90s when it was whoever won between the 49ers and Cowboys.
Right.
Won the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what we felt it was, and that's exactly really what it was. I mean,
I don't know. I was during that Rangers-Astros series, I was watching a few of the Diamondback and Philly series just because I'm like, okay, if the Rangers pull this out, and this is where I'm at because I'm not a Rangers fan, but I'm like, dude, if they make it, who are they going to play? So I'm watching that game going, okay, Philadelphia scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, they were pulling for Arizona
because they were, but for whatever reason, Arizona came through and won that series, and they just didn't match up well against Rangers. I guess I don't know, but that small ball didn't work against the Rangers.
No, they kind of spilled their bucket against the Phillies. They really did. And I guarantee, people are talking about how it was the worst watched World Series and blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you if the Phillies and Rangers were in that series, it's not going 4 games. It's not just going 4. It's going to go at least 6, and it's going to be a whole lot more people watching because those are 2 high-powered offenses, and you would just watch 2 high-powered offenses face off in the AL with the Astros, like you mentioned, and the Rangers. It was a back and forth, just 2 of the best teams and 2 of the best offenses just going at it, and luckily,
right. But CJ, let's also be honest. I mean, not because we won the World Series, but the way we were playing at that time in the postseason, leading up to this World Series championship,
I don't think we were going to lose it.
We weren't going to lose it. It didn't matter if we were playing the Phillies. This was my personal opinion. We weren't going to lose the World Series. We weren't going to. I mean, we won every single game on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
We won all 11 games on the road. We didn't lose one game.
We're down 3-2. Had to go into Houston to win twice just to get to the series.
Exactly.
It did just that, and I mean, going into the World Series with that kind of momentum, I don't think whatever the Phillies, because the Phillies were actually losing momentum by letting that D-backs hang on as long as they did.
Right.
So, and they ended up losing all the momentum and not making it at all.
And do you also remember me saying on the previous podcast we've done, I said, once I saw Atlanta, once they were eliminated and the Dodgers, I was like, okay, now we got a shot.
Yeah.
Because of course, Atlanta, look at the regular season they had. They were unstoppable. Mm-hmm. And that's all you heard about. They were the talk of the MLB. And once they got eliminated, and I was like, well, shit, here we go. We've got a shot. We can do this. And then it's like right whenever we lost, the only game I went to in the World Series, Game 2.
Boo!
I know.
Hey, I told him Tyler's allowed to go back. Tyler's allowed to go back. He's still has a second chance.
A slacking. I was
Corey's not allowed to go back.
Corey's not allowed to go back.
Corey's a walking L, man. Yeah, he's not allowed to go back.
Me and Tyler are too, man. We watched a lot of Rangers games back in the past. Lose, man.
That wasn't because we were at the game, bro. That was because the Rangers absolutely sucked.
Well, they did, but
let's be honest.
But no, Tyler getting to go to Game 2, and I mean, he came back. He hooked me and Ben up, and we appreciated that very much.
You're welcome, man. And I've got some gear. I've got some stuff for my brother too, and I'm gonna give it to him this weekend. But that
experience, even though it was a loss, the experience was worth it, even though it was an L.
You can't describe it. Like I said, it's easier to sit here and talk about it, and until you actually get to experience something like that, and it'll probably be, might be the last time I'll ever get to do that in my entire lifetime. But you know what? I can actually say I went to the World Series the year they won their first World Series. Mm-hmm. And it's just a whole different environment. And that was my first time getting to see the new stadium. And it was fun. I know it was a quick turnaround. It was short and sweet, but I was ready to get back home, though. I was tired.
What other sporting event, Tyler, have you gone to that compares to kind of that World Series? Like, because I know you were college, and so there's some big games back then. But I mean, just like I've been to some big college football games and NFL games. Shoot, the Denver Broncos Cowboys game. You remember we went to? That was the shootout. Pretty good one with Manning and Romo. So I mean,
I think the only one I can compare it to, and I think because you and Dad and Mom were there. Was the game that when I was going to school at Texas Tech and y'all came in and we were playing against the Longhorns.
I hear it.
I know you don't, but you asked the question, so I'm going to answer it.
When Michael
Crabtree, and rushing the field when I jumped down and I had the blow up doll of Chris Sims.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing I can really compare to it. I remember Chris Sims and all these huge linemen for Texas coming by me when I had this blow up doll of Chris Sims, and I'm wearing this huge wig, and I've got my chest painted, and I'm just running through all these players, and it's kind of like a blur. And it was like,
oh, trust me, I don't remember. That was not a blur. I remember that vividly.
I've been to the March Madness. Me and Jamie went to the March Madness. Cool event. The March Madness is really cool. Does not compare to anything with the World Series. The World Series by far. I've never been to a Super Bowl, which that's on my bucket list. If the Cowboys ever get back, which That's a lot of praying to do, CJ.
Yeah.
Hey, there was a lot of praying to get that Rangers dub too.
Yeah, I know there was.
But they don't have Jerry Jones as the owner, so we're good.
True that.
They do not.
I had to take it, and Tyler was getting Max to tell us some great stories, especially his. I guess if y'all seen Kent Murphy on YouTube.
I have not.
I have not either.
Look up Kent Murphy on YouTube, and Mac, you wouldn't have enjoyed his tutelage very much, especially about the bunting. But anyways, I'll turn it back over to Tyler because it sounds like some memories are coming. And by the way, Tyler, you're out there celebrating that that Tech win, and I'm serving my country. I was stationed in Guam. I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah.
I was stationed in Guam, and it was wild. It was crazy. Nobody was Texas or Texas Tech fans that I was there watching the game with me, and they were all going nuts. So I couldn't imagine being on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those experiences. Like Mac asked a really good question, about like what does it compare to all the events I've been to? Because I've been to a lot of sporting events in my lifetime. I've been the fortunate one to get to do that, but there's nothing that compares to going to a World Series game. It's just. Like I said, it's one of those things you can watch it on TV, and your team's there, but to actually be there in person and to see like the crowd and to see it's like when they got the final out in Arizona in Game 5 when Sports struck out Marte. Wasn't it Marte he struck out?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. And you look at these videos now that are getting all posted. These older men that have lived their whole lives without seeing the Rangers win the World Series, and they're crying. Their sons are recording them.
My dad sent me a little video, a little selfie, and he's just yelling.
Yeah,
he's just yelling.
It's
been a long
time. Yeah, finally happened.
Yeah.
And we're World Series champions, and I'm glad, because it's funny because my brother, when this run started happening, he texted me out of the blue one day. I mean, we talk on and off, but he texted me and he was like, talking about the Rangers. And I was like, okay. I was like, did his phone get hacked or something? Because this is a little weird. I was like, are you watching the game? And he was like, hell yeah.
I think it was the next day I was with Tyler, and he goes, dude, my brother texted me last night, and I almost gave him like, what? It's like, Mac was texting you. What is Mac doing? Talking baseball. He don't know shit,
Yeah.
You're right.
And Tyler's like, no, man, he's all into it. I'm like, man, that's great. That is freaking great. That is awesome. But that was a funny thing.
And I didn't really realize until I started watching the Rangers in the playoffs that the MLB had adopted the pitch clock.
Yeah,
great for the sport, because I think that'll bring more people into watching the sport. It speeds it up so fast. It's more like college baseball now.
Right.
Games aren't lasting 4 hours.
There was
so much better.
There was one game, Nathan Eovaldi threw a complete game shutout, and it lasted an hour and 57 minutes.
Yep, that's correct. Did you see, CJ? I was going to say, did you see today what they did? What the MLB's trying to implement? What they're trying to put in for next year?
I hope they're taking away the ghost runner at second.
No, they didn't talk about anything like that. But they're trying to. They're wanting to change the runner on base from 20 seconds to 18 seconds.
With a runner on base, just cut it by 2.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to.
I mean, 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but in baseball,
but to a reliever, especially a reliever is who it's going to affect.
Exactly.
Because they usually take all the damn time in the world, especially if there's runners on. Now you're cutting 2 seconds off of them. Absolutely, it's gonna feel like an eternity, or you're losing an eternity. Like you're just flat out getting rushed. They're going to have to. This was the first year they did that. So there's a lot of guys, a lot of pitchers that are going to have to go into the offseason and actually train differently to be able to, and hitters as well, to train differently, because you don't have time to sit on your haunches and rest. You got to be in condition enough to go out there 162 games a year if you're Marcus Semien, and be in mentally prepared. And
exactly right.
It's going to take watch, and the shift changing back. Next year, you're going to see a lot of different play styles like the Diamondbacks. I think it's going to bring stealing back and base to base baseball like Tyler.
Okay, what are you talking? What are you talking about? The shift coming back?
With no, not the shift coming back. I'm saying or taking away the shift and making.
Oh yeah,
okay. To be, where shift was the way the shift is now.
Right. Okay, I got you.
The way the shift is being forced to be instituted right now is the way it used to be. Like this was the shift, Mac. And back then this was it. Not like last year where they're putting 8 guys on the right side.
Yeah.
Because
which I think that helped out baseball a lot. And you also look at what it did for other players. I mean, you look at Corey Seager's first year there, and when the shift was, the actual old shift was there.
Right.
Seager, I mean, look how many freaking base hits he was robbed of.
Piss rockets
piss rockets coming through, and I mean, you got the guy, between
right field,
just waiting for it. And I'm like, this is bullshit. They didn't freaking change the freaking rule.
So you guys are talking about that they have rules in play and how a defense can shift.
Yeah, you can't be on that side of the bag anymore. You have to have 2 sides on the left side and 2 guys on the left side and 2 guys on the right side on your infield.
You can have a guy up the middle, but he has to be just slightly on the whichever side. If he's the shortstop,
of the bag, he can't be on. You can't edge it off to the right side. You can't have because back in the day they used to stack it 3 on the right side. You would just have your third baseman or you're
playing second base, like on the
basically MLB has gone with every other sport and given advantage to the offense.
I think
they were hitting record lows in batting average.
Yeah,
flat out losing fans.
And there's a lot of other things they did, brother. They made the baseball
was huge though.
The pitch clock. They made the baseball. The bases, they made them bigger. They almost look like pizza boxes now.
It's going to encourage. Yeah, it's going to encourage again the running game again.
Yeah, it's the stealing and all that. Correct.
They're trying to get more small ball, trying to get runs up. I mean,
baseball's having to always adjust itself because in the late '90s they were hitting too many home runs, obviously because. Why? We just talked about it, but they had to lower the mound a little bit, and they were talking about softening the balls, and now they're actually putting them in humidifiers before they use them. It's just there's so many little things that go into a baseball game. Yeah, Mac.
That's crazy, man. It's way too much. Hey, and we haven't even gotten into statistics and all the endless statistics at baseball.
Analytics and WAR.
Hey, bud. Next time I see you, we're gonna have to sit down and have a cold drink one night, have a couple cold drinks, and I'm gonna freaking blow your mind with how much baseball's changed. He said, "No, you're not."
He's just
I have no interest in that. No.
Nope.
How about both me and Tyler, man?
Me and CJ are gonna sit with you, and we're gonna strap you down, bro, and we're just gonna freaking blow you away.
We're gonna BABIP and RBI him to death.
I'll tell you what. If you're gonna strap me down with some cold drinks, I ain't retaining any of that. You're gonna have to put some Adderall in me.
You're gonna be like,
I'm not keeping up with that.
No, I will say, brother, from the games we went to when we were younger, it was fun times. But yes, like me and CJ were just talking about, the rules have changed a lot, and it's not just; it's a lot of stuff.
The players have changed a lot.
Well, of course.
And that goes across every sport. I mean, the Americans are getting bigger, faster, stronger, and it's crazy.
I know.
The American athlete is it's different, man. All sports and in baseball especially. I was watching some of those guys, the little guys for the Rangers. I'm like, that's a big dude. I mean, that's
Corey Seager looks. Yeah, people consider Corey Seager.
Yeah, how big do you think Corey Seager is, Mac?
Corey Seager, I would say, is probably 6'4", 215.
Damn, dude! Did you do a little bit of research or what?
I did not. I'm just going by the wayside. 6'4", 215.
That's about exactly what he's at. He's about 215, 220. He's 6'4", though.
Well, I'm just the dude's got muscle. I mean, you could.
He's a lot bigger than what you see on TV. He's a big dude.
If you so you see it on TV, and they like when they're batting in their ripped forearms and their upper arms. You can tell
especially at Garcia.
They have muscle.
Oh yeah,
he is like
they. I mean, and that's why he's the MVP, man. He's probably not a young player, but he is taking care of his body.
No, he's still young. He's young.
I mean, what do you consider young?
He's late 20s.
20s. I mean, he's in his 20s.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and he signed a 10-year contract with the Rangers. I mean, he'll be a lifelong Ranger.
I didn't realize that. Well, I don't know anything about Corey Seager. I just knew that he had won a championship with another team, so I figured he had been in the league
in Arlington
12 years.
Yeah, he actually won his first championship. He played for the Dodgers, and his first championship was during the COVID era, and there was no fans allowed, and he won. That's right, when the first year the stadium had just got built, and he won his first MVP and his first championship with the Dodgers at our stadium. And then the Rangers.
So was that his rookie season, or how many years in the league at that point?
No,
he was already an established player, but he got a 10-year deal for what, 300 and how much million?
325, I believe.
Yeah, 325 million.
He's fairly young. I thought maybe he was in his mid 30s, maybe.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
He's good. He came in clutch for the Rangers.
Yeah, Corey Seager has another. I mean, this is honest with Corey Seager keeping his body, like you mentioned, Mac. He has another good 10 to possibly 15 years left.
Said he doesn't waste effort on anything.
He doesn't, man.
You notice he doesn't swing his bat at the plate. He doesn't.
And another thing that he doesn't do,
steps in the plate, and he's ready to go.
And another thing he doesn't do, he does not take batting practice.
Doesn't take batting practice.
He doesn't. He refuses to take batting practice. He'll go into the cage underneath the stadium, and he'll hit a few balls off the tee. And he'll if it feels good. I read an article about him. If he has 2 good swings, he'll put the bat down. And he said he's ready to go.
Did you
now if he feels something's off?
Did you say off the tee?
Yeah.
That's my kind of guy right there.
That's my kind of guy right there.
My kind of guy right there.
There you go.
Corey Seager got something in common. See, I told you, dude, I was a future Hall of Famer at one point.
And he's a lefty too, Macker.
He is. I didn't even think about that, but hey.
He's a southpaw.
Hey,
yeah,
he can hit the ball a lot better than I did.
He can crush a freaking ball, dude. That dude's freaking amazing. If it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani being in the American League, and Corey Seager would hands down be the MVP for the American League.
If Shohei Ohtani wasn't able to pitch.
To a guy the other day was saying that Ohtani had interest in the Rangers.
This is number one preferred. True. Well, of course. I mean, they're the world champions. When
they're going to have interest in everybody, and their name's going to be attached to everybody.
Yeah, now that they won the World Series.
I just was like, I don't know. But
yeah, that would be. He's going to sign an astronomical contract, even bigger than Seager's. So.
He'll have the biggest contract, Macker. I'm going to tell you right now. He's going to sign a 10 to 12-year deal for $500 to $600 million.
Hey, if they put a T out there, I will sign that contract and I'll play for the Rangers.
Well, me and CJ, next time we're at a game, we'll talk to Tony Beasley and see if he can have that set up. Tony Beasley is our third base coach, but and our hitting coach, we'll talk to him too to see if we can get you a little at bats on the field prior to the game and see what they think.
Mac will throw you $5 and a beer and say go for it.
Hey, dude, I want guaranteed money like Jimbo Fisher. That way, after 1 or 2 games, they can can my ass and I'm going to go for the rest of my life.
You get a $76 million buyout.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Hey, Jimbo Fisher did it right, dude. I know it's college,
but he can walk off. He can sell off on the sunset in his yacht, maybe.
Yep. He's done, but you know what? He'll get picked up by another team, and he's still getting paid.
Was not very smart about that contract, man.
Oh no!
Hey, CJ, I was looking up a thing the other day. You know how much he makes a day with this contract? Just take a wild guess.
I heard something about this, but I didn't. I was working.
$20,700 a day for the next 7 years.
Hey, I could live off that.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah,
I wouldn't know what to do with that. If you walked up to me today and said, "Hey, go spend this money," I'd be like. Can I sleep on it? You
can. You actually can.
They're giving him 19.7. He has to get 19.7 right now before 60 days. And then for the next 7 years after that, what it comes out to is $20,600 and something a day till 2031. I was like,
leave it to the Aggies, man.
I was like, wow.
Hey, thank you, Texas Oil, man.
Yeah.
It's oil money.
That's it.
It is oil money. You're right.
This is crazy.
All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun, Mac, Tyler, and to listen to you guys tell stories from childhood and to hear Mac talk about, hey, grabbing that interest and watching the Astros and Rangers series as well as the World Series. And see, here's the thing. Here's what I want to point out by that. Okay. What the Rangers did and were able to do in the style of play and everything that went into this World Series run brought folks that used to love to watch baseball back in like Mack.
Yep.
And that is alone huge for the Rangers and huge for baseball right there, because you got most Texas people that are from Texas, they are Rangers fans over Astros fans. They really are. But most of the others, they're going to be fans of guys like the Cardinals, Dodgers,
Yankees,
the Yankees, old school teams, Cubs, whatever the case may be. To the fan that was like, I like baseball, but the Rangers aren't any good. Just like Mack brought that interest back. And now I'm sure Mack's going to watch a few more games during the regular season next year.
He probably won't.
I will. I'll watch one.
He probably won't, CJ. He probably won't, dude.
Just to spite you.
He's going to wait again until they make the playoffs and be like,
watch that one.
No, he might watch a few more. I could see him watching a few more because it shocked the shit out of me that day whenever he was texting me. And like he was asking me, like we hit a home run, like Garcia hit a home run. My brother just texted me, he's like, boom. And I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird, bro. I was like, I'm tripping out. I was like, dude, I've been sober for 5 years off the drugs, but I'm like, okay, dude, his phone got hacked. This is not my brother, man.
But it was fun to watch. It was a fairy tale ride. I mean, it was for me because I watched them in the dumpsters. I mean, it's cool to see that come to fruition for you. Not just me, but guys like you that really watch that in and out. I mean, y'all are true fans of the game, of the Rangers, and the game. Mm-hmm. Me, not so much. I am just a fan of like the Rangers. So I'm what you would call that bandwagon fan. So when they're doing good,
fair weather, bandwagon, whatever you want to call it.
Fair weather's probably better.
I'm not going to hide that, but man, I'll tell you what. I was rooting them on as hard as you two guys were. I promise you that.
All right.
I believe that. Hey, I'm going to finish with one more question for you, Mack. Or it's not really a question. I want you to tell a story real quick to CJ before we get off the air about the game we went to in the first stadium, the old Ranger Stadium in Nolan Ryan when he was warming up, and tell CJ the story.
I'll tell you what. So Nolan Ryan was out there getting ready for the game, doing his warm-up pitches, and I don't know if Pudge was there yet or not. I don't know.
He was.
Was he there?
He was a young, real young.
Ryan's career.
So this is like 91, 92.
Yeah.
So he was warm-up pitching, and Pudge, for whatever reason, missed a ball, and it hit the ump right in the nuts. So there was about
he didn't have his cup in or anything,
20-minute delay in the game to start that game because he was on the ground.
He thought because Pudge was the one catching, he didn't need to wear one.
I know. And Nolan Ryan had a cannon still at that age.
Yes, he was still hitting upper 90s, dude.
Yes, he was. He could still roll with those punches. But yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Oh, that's great. That is great. Oh, good stuff. Well, Mack, we appreciate it. Tyler, thanks so much. This was a lot of fun. It's always fun to, especially in the off season. I mean, we're gonna continue getting folks on like Mack that we know and just BS, because this has been a ride. And it's been a ride for everybody involved.
Hey, y'all's ride is not over with. I mean,
no.
Oh no, we're gonna be good for the next.
I don't know if it's a World Series every year, but man, y'all are going to be something to deal with for a while. I mean,
as long as you have Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien, and you got Josh Young, who's a rookie.
I've got a lot of young dudes that are good that came in clutch through that series too.
And we got we've got one of the top prospects in the minor league. I mean, let's be honest, CJ. Well, we'll talk about that on the next episode or whatever. But Mack, I'm just going to let you know our organization is well set for many years.
I can tell. I mean, I'm not a baseball guy, but y'all were clutch up and down the line.
Well, and there's guys still coming.